Hey everyone, it's Mad along with Goose, and today we're going to talk about the Beast Festival. Everything's coming pretty fast and furious this month, and this is going to be another pretty short event with a lot to do. So stay tuned, and I'll try to give you uh, kind of like an overview on what you should focus on. Stay tuned. All right, I've talked about both the main units in this, and so let's just go through them. Demon Warrior Veera increases physical power by 10%. She will be the first one. Both the S units here are going to be physical based. Her big thing is that when she attacks and also her normal, she gains increased physical power, even turns during her normal. And when attacking, she can get even more if you've got a dupe. And so she becomes incredibly powerful along with the other unit, Marquis De Leon. She can basically delete units off the map in both arena and PvE, even though she is much more used in arena. So her three skills are all either high range or high AoE, or sometimes both with Kengui, and all non elemental. Her first one is martial damage, the other two are physical damage, and the engaged shot actually draws units towards you. And the other one is the Beast King. It does incredibly large damage to all enemies. Very, very powerful. Very, very good top unit overall. The unit for this one for Demon Vera is the Dark Sabrecat. Reduces Zam resistance by 10%. Is a Sabrecat, low HP and defense combination, but this one is not horribly low. Has very good agility, and its attack is pretty good overall. It is very Zam based, so it's not as good as some of the other A units, but is still a very decent unit overall. You're going to want to use another martial AoE skill, most likely with this unit. So you have a nice AoE. And also the A unit is the leadership is relatively serviceable by reducing enemy SAM resistance by 10%, which is important for Sabercat and for other units as well. But the big issue with this unit, just like all of the Sabercats, great mobility, but can be one shotted if you're not careful. So just be a little wary on this. This one is completely Zam physical based, unless the other that you add. So just be careful overall. You can also use normal attack as well. 366 isn't super weak, but it's not super strong either. I think the main unit that we're all going to focus on is Marquis de Leon. Increasing Beast physical power by 20% is absolutely huge. The Awakening skill 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Increasing Beast physical strength within a diamond around it is absolutely bonkers. Um, it has both Zap and non elemental. Violent Otakabi is a martial damage on all enemies surrounding it. It's got Beast King Claw and Beast King Roar. The Claw does 300% zap power or 75 with the 4 times and really lowers defense. The other one, Beast King Roar, very heavy physical damage to all enemies and can lower defense. Marquis de Leon is going to be used as the leader with his beast physical power, just because if you got Persby Gorvis along with Vera, beasts become very, very strong. Also, in this one, beasts are going to get bonused on top of everything. So if you can get Marquis de Leon, it does become incredibly powerful overall. But with beasts the way that they are, and also like basically the highest rated A unit is a beast that we got in one that just really recently as well. Marquis de Leon is still incredibly highly priced in Japan and is one of those units that a lot of people should focus on. If you have to only save for one, Nocturnus is the one to go for, but this is basically number two in a lot of circles. The unit here, Thwarthog, is actually a pretty good unit on top of it. Uh, the leadership skill is pretty garbage, increasing sleep resistance by 25%. But this is a tank. It has selflessness. This has the uh, uh, very important whoosh resistance. So it's our first whoosh tank. And being along with Marquis De Leon, for a lot of people are going to be pulling for Marquis De Leon. Getting Thwarthog is not a negative. It is a very, very, very good tank. And it helps us get whoosh, which is very, very needed as well. So I'm really not going to go too much over this. It has selflessness. You're basically going to be using that almost over anything else. Don't need to add another debuff. Its stats, it's almost got 1,000 HP with over 420 defense. And its agility is pretty good too for a tank at 308. You just need to make sure that you don't outpace it because it only has movement of 2. But very solid tank. I wouldn't say it's the best tank per se, but still, because it has whoosh, it's going to have a lot of use when we need to fight whoosh. The free one, the first one is Nodoph. It is a obviously a very bang uh, caster and also has some attack with the explosive wave around it, which we really don't want to use because its HP and defense are incredibly low, but it does have 4 movement and very good agility for an A unit 387. Its wisdom's pretty good at 283 with all that speed, but this is one of those very fast, very low HP, but just doesn't quite have enough wisdom or attack to become really, really useful. But this is the A unit you're probably going to at least want to get four hearts first. It's really good to add another elemental magic to it. Its leadership is focused only on itself to increase beast magic damage by 10%. Not really worth it. You're only going to really use it if you have to use Nodoph as like your main damage dealer, which you're going to want to use pretty much for his battle road. But other than that, that's it. Um, the other interesting part that does boost him a little bit is that if you're fighting nothing but mages for the first 2 turns, it has a repel or a reflect shield up. So it does have some use. Basically, it is just for turn 1. Its agility is so high, it will be one of the first ones that go for turn 2. So it won't really be there to reflect on the second turn. But for the first turn, you can try and get spell units to damage themselves. The other one is the Carrot Bunnicorn. Uh, very interesting unit. Actually, it's a very cute unit. I'm just going to say that. Leadership effect decreased enemy zap resistance by 10%. Has its uses. Not super useful, but has uses. First one, Kiki, is basically just a self power up, 1.5 extra physical power. Squirting Thunder is its second one. Very big zap damage. Its MP is actually enough that it can cast it a few times, and if you level it up, it will be able to cast it around 5 or 6 times if you farm it enough. And it can paralyze as well. And the third one is a very powerful zap physical damage, Golden Thunder. Its attack and magic and wisdom are okay. Agility 400 with movement of 3. Um, it's a good zap unit. You're going to want to add another element, maybe a martial surround as well. Uh, Now that we're starting to get some of the martial surround, some of the A units can use it. Overall, both of these units are good but not great. I would say focus on four hearting these two, then whichever one you think you're going to like more, maybe try 5 heart. Uh, but with the amount of stuff that we have done, and if we don't get 3 weeks on this, I have a funny feeling we're going to get 2 weeks only. It's going to be very hard to get 5 hearts unless if you refresh an awful lot for it. And I'm not so sure either of these units are that powerful that especially free to play players should be focusing on that. But four hearts are, I think, warriors should be at least going for it. There's three other farmable units: the Dark Saber Cub, Great Sabrecat, Scarewolf. So be it. Nothing super huge here. The one thing I do like about the Dragon, and not Dragon Fest, sorry, Beast Fest are the weapons and armor. Zhao's Claws, Alchemy, or sorry, Agility plus 30. Alchemy has agility as its only rainbows. If you can get three of those, you can actually get these claws to be over 100 agility. And so these claws are actually pretty important to get and to try and upgrade a bit. And if you can get really lucky, as I say, they give a lot of agility, which can make a unit very, very, very powerful. Second one is Beast Shield, and this is kind of a little bit odd. Um, some of these, the shield, hammer, and sorry, the sword here, Beast Sword, all can be actually farmed at the same spot. I will talk about that in a little bit. But the Beast Shield is a decent shield of defense plus 12, spell resist for beasts at 3%, and also gives frizz resist and HP and attack. Excuse me. Let's go to the Beast Hammer. Attack 22, Beast Physical Power 3% with the Beast Physical Power, HP and attack as well. And the Beast Sword is sword with gives you some HP and attack. Beast Breath Power plus 4%, which is a little disappointing. Um, I'd rather have seen something else than Breath Power for beasts. But Alchemy, Beast Breath Power, Beast HP and attack are also there. Demon Warrior Ono, it gives you attack plus 22, physical power plus 2, Alchemy, Beast King power, physical skill power, and attack and HP. And for the fragments here, we're going to obviously get 10 Veera for tickets, 10 De Leon, 30 Beast fragments, and 10 non attribute books if we follow JP. So there's smaller things here compared to the Dragon Fest. Here's the strongest Beast Festival. The goal is to use Beast Monsters for the fight, as they will get increased stats at 20%. We can use sleep units for these. So the Saber Cub is weak to Bang and Swoosh, and Veera's weak to Sizz and Crackle. And just to note, or sorry, Bang, yeah, it is Sizz and Crackle. Veera, just know she will be the harder one, obviously, but she has an ultimate attack, and it will be prepped for the first turn before saying she is getting ready to get a strong attack. If you have a tank, make sure that it takes it. It does do an awful lot of damage to one unit, I believe, or it might be just around her. But it's not a long range AoE at the very least. I can't remember. I just had a unit actually take the damage and die. Um, and then what would happen is she would become weakened for and take basically an extra 50% additional damage, where you would unload on her and kill her there. For some people, you would be able to for one turn or two turn KO it, but it's best to plan for this ultimate attack so that you can be ready for it and pounce on it. Haha, peace puns here. All right, so the main set is the Revolutionary Army. I have them in order of importance. So the first one is fighting Nodoph, and you will drop 3 obtainable units. Obviously, your goal is to get Nodoph, but you also can get the Bunnicorn and the Bullfinch. The Marquis De Leon will actually it's a harder boss, and will give you the shield, sword, and hammer. But Nodoph is the first one you're going to go for. Then you'll farm as much as you need for the shield, sword, and hammer. Then, if you want to, the other 3 you can choose. You have Church Priest, Weapon Shop, and Tavern Master, all from the Beast Festival. And you can farm each of those units down below. Basically, it's mildly convenient to get your peace levels up to 5 hearts. As I say, I really hope this festival is 3 weeks. This is a great way to get a lot of the units up higher without going through the story mode and repeating it over. But once again, I have a sneaking suspicion it's only going to be 2 weeks, and so that we're not going to be able to use this as much as we did in Japan, and that is actually kind of sad. The next one is defeat the Red Crimson Shield. There will be 20 floors total. This is going to be a little harder than some of the previous trials, but cost 0 stamina, so it's not too bad. The first rewards are quite nice. Level 15 win is a rainbow orb, which is always useful. Um, and is still pretty doable. I believe level 15 has a CP of around 19,000 or 20,000, so it is not too high. Uh, a lot of other levels have alchemy stones. One of them is a B. There are two overall A's, and then the one of each type, and then there's one S that's overall as well. I believe that S is level 19 though, so you do need to get up there pretty high to get those alchemy stones. But they are available for the first rewards. Basically, the goal here is to get those rewards and go on. And it's fairly similar to the 51 that's the Dragon Fest, but it's a lot shorter. There are Marquis De Leon medals as well. You can get another rainbow orb here as well. So there is at least basically 3 farmable ones for this event. This is where you get the Shuao claws, which can, as I say, get up to the 100 agility. Uh, there are 2 fights to go through this here, and multiple levels. The first one is the guards. Or actually, the second one is the guards. This is the harder one to get. This is the highest level. You fight Nodoph, which has the highest HP, and then you get each one of these enemies as well. The suggested parties here with the Saber Cub as going to be your suggested leader. Um, this the suggested party here does have a little bit of what I would call RNG, unfortunately, uh, but this is definitely a doable party. But you can do as you will. This is just a suggestion. This has been done and shown that it is plausible, especially it all was done with the equipment that we currently now have. The second one is the Beast Cavalry. Nodoff's got a lot less HP, but the goal here is to go through this much faster. And because of that, you're going to defeat the bottom 3 enemies first. And with them having lower HP, you don't have to worry too much about overall healing. You just go for pure strength, and that's where Chrome and Hellion as well come into play. That's why you just see very fast units and just trying to beat the units as quickly as you can. And once again, this is the highest level for there. And finally, we have 2 battle roads here. The first one is the Dark Saber Cub, which is going to focus on Veera's units, and obviously Dark Saber Cub. That should be our first battle roads. Um, so we should have all of the units here, and the only farmable one that we need to farm first is the Dark Saber Cub. Dark Saber Cat and Veera are from the gachas. Last one is Nodoph. And once again, same. The only 2 other new units on top of it is from the gacha, and everything else here we've either farmed or is part of the world here. And I forgot to change these to world. I'm sorry. But I hope you guys are kind of excited. I will go over the blossoming and also the new units that should be coming Sunday as well. This might be delayed till next week because of the blossoming being done, and so that will definitely mean we only have 2 weeks to do it. But I wanted to get this out as quickly as possible. There's not really much to get ready for because a lot of this, if you as long as you have the units already from the worlds down here from the two battle roads, uh, it is the best if you want to get the hearts up there to go ahead and run the Revolutionary Army because you can get a lot of these units at the same time and also get the items that you need so that you can get all the items overall. Um, I'm still getting a lot of people who are not full subscribers, so if you could subscribe, that would be very helpful for me. But more importantly, if you've got any questions or any comments, please comment down below. I do like to answer them when I can. But at this point, you guys have a good one, and I will talk to everyone later. Night, everyone.